Yeah. Hip hop forever. We all came from the womb of a black god. If you a woman now, that means you a black god. The god of this planet is a black god. They hide and secretly worshiping a black god. The god they betrayed was a black god. They took, raped, and murdered the black god. Stole the scriptures and sciences of the black god. And made the cities and villages of the black god. Tried to destroy the nations of the black god. Colonize civilizations of the black god. Kidnap the children of the black god. Sacrifice the children of the black god. Murdered the children of the black god. Enslaved and chained up the black god. Disgraced the name of the sacred black god. It's time for the resurrection of the black god. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again, come again. The black man for coming from a black God, for being son of the holy mother black God, for being the holy child of the black God, for being the precious soul of the black God, for being brother of the magnificent black God, for being the greatest creation of the black God, for being the manifestation of the black God, for being the divine prize of the black God, for being the counterpart of the black God, for being the first love of the black God, for being the other half of the black God, for being the best friend of the black God, for being the first to praise the black God, for being the desire of the black God, for being the protector of the black God, for being the God of the black God. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again. Black God Supreme, now gonna come again, come again. They took her mind from her, such was her virginity. Attacked her soul, tried to hide her divinity. Made us all forget her divine attributes. Till it's set, now replaced by foreign attitudes. Every soul possesses the potential of her love. Universal principles, but now we looking up above. She's been fractured, terrified, used and abused. Her anger is expected, she doesn't know what to do. A God without a heaven now, lost and confused. Heartbroken, infected, depressed and subdued. Can't remember her knowledge and all that she had taught. Dormant all her powers from the war she had fought. She was our leader, our ruler, the true and living God. She made sure we were even, but they have made it odd. If only she returned, then we could get it back. The worship of the essence of the woman, which is black.
Peace and welcome to the Temple of Hip Hop. I am KRS-ONE. That was Sun One, brand new video, just laid down the Black God. That's what we're dealing with here today. And I'm going to talk to you about your Black Godness. And it doesn't matter what race or ethnicity you're from, that darkness, that inner man, the one that really is not seen or has no form, that person, the spirit you, that you is what we're going to talk about today. Taking care of the God in you, the spirit, the soul in you. You hear this often and you hear it a lot, knowledge of self, or, we got to take care of ourselves, or, this kind of thing. But when you really get into it, most of us are neglecting ourselves. And the point of the matter, the point to this teaching today is to take yourself seriously, to really take yourself seriously, to begin to not only take your being, your personality, character, yourself, and so on seriously, but begin to take yourself seriously in the sense of what you do and your goals in life, your purpose in life, what you mean in the world, these kinds of things. What do you how serious do you take yourself? So I'm going to go over a few things actually today. We don't have a long lesson. I'm going to read from the gospel as usual, but we're going to focus in on a certain divine performance that has to do with taking care of yourself. It has to do with taking a moment to take care of yourself. Like right now, you're taking a moment to take care of yourself. You're listening to me speak right now. This is a moment. Let this be a moment of peace in your life. No matter what's going on, let this moment right now be a moment of peace, a moment of strength, a moment to reflect upon what's real and what's true, what's important and what's valuable. So as you know, this is the Temple of Hip Hop. The Temple of Hip Hop is a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. We started in 1996 with the affirmation, I am hip hop. And since then, we have been teaching a variety of lessons that lead our culture to seeing itself as a people. We were the first to declare I am hip hop and even say rap is something we do, hip hop is something we live. It's been like 20-something years now. We've been preaching the same message, and now the affirmation is coming into view. Now the affirmation is coming into view. The Temple of Hip Hop is located at 55 Ludlow Street right now. We've already put in a petition to change Ludlow Street to, we don't even know what we were, Hip Hop Boulevard, Hip Hop Street, Hip Hop Way, the Avenue of Hip Hop, something like that. But we're there at 55 Ludlow Street, and we're getting ready to excite the temple. We're going to open up in a minute, just to give you a brief update on that. A few updates, as a matter of fact. We go through our updates before we begin teaching. But on the Temple of Hip Hop side, we're getting ready to open the building. It looks like we're going to be really robust, really into the building, into building the temple, starting in July, all through August, all through September and October, and then into November, to which we take a break. The temple will continue because the actual building itself will be functioning. It has functions, things going on, schedules of lectures, our courses, classes, workshops, all of that will still be going on for the rest of the year. But I take a break. I and others, they may have worked themselves over these next 3 months. We're going to take a break. And then as it gets cold, as well, I usually take my break anyway, no matter where I am in the world. I take a break anyway, sometime after November, kind of go into hibernation. I might find myself in California, Florida, Texas, these places where the heat is at. I follow the sun, like Akhenaten. So, so wherever it's hot at there, that's what we're going to be. November, December, January, February, March. Come back around April, May, like that. Probably, Hip Hop Appreciation Week. We get really intense with the Temple of Hip Hop. We're coming up on this year, next year's Hip Hop Appreciation Week. The theme is graffiti art, and what a wonderful time that's going to be, because we have a whole temple to beautify from now to that moment as well. So I'm going to go into, I'll get back to the temple in a minute, but I wanted to just bring that up, that, it's July. And most of what we're going to talk about here today as well has to do with, again, taking yourself seriously. And taking yourself seriously means, in this particular sense, taking your temple seriously, taking your gospel seriously, taking the teachings of this temple seriously. We're trying to show you with real life experiences what these teachings do, what they are about. I know a lot of people teach hip hop, and we're grateful that anybody would want to teach hip hop. But when you get down to it, the real question is, but is your teaching effective? What does it give you? What is it? What are you? How are you empowered by it? How is your intelligence even expanded by the teaching? And that's what we pride ourselves on here at the Temple of Hip Hop. Our style of teaching empowers hip hoppers. We believe that to preserve hip hop, you got to preserve hip hoppers. So our teaching is based on the empowerment of the hip hopper, his or herself. This begins with your mind, a refinement of mind. This begins with a belief in yourself beyond what you see around you. Can you project yourself into other spaces and other times, knowing that you're going to physically get there at some point? The mind has to go there first for the body to follow. So where are you projecting your mind? This is the core essence of what we teach here at the Temple of Hip Hop. So one more update, a longer update as a matter of fact, with the Temple of Hip Hop and everything else going on. We had a call yesterday with our producers, those who are producing our Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. You guys, I try to keep us abreast on these calls and with weekly updates, written updates. Those who are part of the thread, you know what's up. As to the status of our Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. I haven't really been expressing in this public forum a lot of the details and craziness, I should say, that's going on behind the scenes to make this actually happen. But I will say this to you on this public call, or this medium, in this forum, that the Temple of Hip Hop is magnificent. Let me just start there. And I don't say that because I am the founder. I am amazed at this institution for what it is capable of doing. And I'm hoping that you guys listening to me are not just hearing my words like beautiful songs that you listen to, or you're watching me for entertainment purposes, even edutainment purposes. Fine, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But the point to this lesson is for you to get off your ass. Get up. Do something. What is the meaning of you? What is the purpose of you? Why are you here? Fulfill the being of you. Add value and importance to yourself. This is what the temple teaches. But this is also what the temple does. So I mentioned that to say that, so we got this Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. What a ride this has been for those involved in the producing of it. You know, I've been talking about this for the last 2 months. So at the beginning of all of this, I'll just go through a quick story. At the beginning of all of this, our Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival, we knew about all the other venues and all the other dates that were going on. And we give our blessing to all of them. Matter of fact, I performed on some. But when it came to August 11th and the weekend of August 11th, we at the temple consider that sacred ground. That's a sacred time. August 11th, that's the sacred day. Remember, we are the ones that on hip hop's 48th birthday declared hip hop, declared August Hip Hop Recognition Month and August 11th Hip Hop Celebration Day. We did that with Chuck Schumer and others at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx, at the birthplace. The next year was the 49th birthday of hip hop. So we announced the 50th anniversary of hip hop at hip hop's birthplace on hip hop's 49th birthday. We bought a cake, the mayor came out, we cut the cake, we ate the cake, we celebrated hip hop. Grandmaster Kaz and Curtis Blow was on hand as well, among others. Now here we are at the 50th. Now keep in mind, everybody is just getting on their 50th. They're just slapping the name 50th anniversary onto shows, lectures, exhibits. And again, we appreciate that. No doubt. We appreciate it. Hip hop appreciates the attention. But there is a part of us. There is a part of us. Here, grab this. I'm sorry. I'm just my phone is rocking right now. But there is a part of us that hold on one second, guys. Yo, tell this dude he should be on the call, actually. Yeah, he should be on the call. Sorry for that interruption. That's my friend Hakeem Green from Channel Live. He was just calling me. I dropped my phone and saw it. Can't take his call right now. It is what it is. So anyway, so let me continue. So that for 2 months now, we've been discussing with the city, the permits, artists, we securing artists, so on and so on. And we've been talking about this now for almost 2 months. Now, why is it taking 2 months, okay, to do this? Why 2 months? Because nobody got their act together. You go to the city agencies don't talk to one another. You got the Parks Department doing one thing, the city doing something else, like the mayor's office doing something else, then Department of Transportation doing something else, sanitation is doing something else, you know, the police doing their own thing, fire doing. So if you want something to happen in a city, it is you, the citizen, that has to put the city together. If you can understand this madness, now I'm speaking right now. You have to put the city together. You have to call this one and connect them with that one. And then if they actually connect and make some sort of synergy, you could then take that to something else. And this is how you form your coalition to have something done in the city. So the Temple of Hip Hop has been moving forward with, as you know, we were looking to do a 3-day event. 3-day event, August 11th, 12th, 13th. And you know what I was going to say also about, before the phone rang, about how we felt about charging hip hoppers at Yankee Stadium or any event on August 11th, charging hip hoppers during this sacred weekend to celebrate our own anniversary. We felt that was unethical. We're not dissing nobody, but we felt it was unethical as the Temple of Hip Hop. We brought that concern to Nas, who's putting the show on, partner in putting the show on. We brought that concern also to Fat Joe, who actually hooked us. It was a long story. You guys remember the whole thing, that how it went down. But anyway, we brought our concerns to them. They know what it is. They realize. So the compromise was that after y'all do Yankee Stadium, we are going to open up an environment where hip hop can celebrate itself for free in the park, for the public. So this is, and by the way, every time I say this, I have to say this. This is the role of a temple. This is the role of a hip hop teacher. Not to judge and criticize, but also not to be quiet and overlooking some injustice or immorality, or when people are going against the principles of the culture, those who are the caretakers of the culture must say something. It's not that everyone, because of your actions, you're hurting the culture. But if you don't hear from the culture keeper, when you may be compromising the principles of the culture, how would you know? So it's important that hip hop's teachers speak up and speak loudly, but you're speaking to your brothers and sisters. You're speaking to your mothers and fathers. You're speaking to your community. So the respect is always there. The respect stays there. But we got to get it straight. So the Temple of Hip Hop is doing its work to make sure that hip hop has an environment free to the public, with major artists performing on stage, in addition to breaking, graffiti writing, DJing, beatboxing, street fashion, street language, street knowledge, and street entrepreneurialism. We will have all of hip hop celebrated on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Now, here's what happened. As we looked at Cedar Park, we realized that Cedar Park was a little small. We were going to force it, but Cedar Park was small. It's a small park, just like 1520 Sedgwick and 1600 Park. Cedar Park also is bigger than those two areas, but it's still a small park. So we just said, look, So it started out with 2 stages. We broke down to 1 stage. We looked at it again. We called the Bronx Borough president. She looked at it. We all determined it's too small. Cedar Park is dope. This is one of the birthplaces of hip hop. So we want to do it in Cedar Park, but it's too small. We might get 10,000 people there. What do we do then? We definitely don't want anybody getting hurt or any kind of stupidness jumping off. So we got to think about safety. So we put Cedar Park to the side. And this is another reason why we put Cedar Park. First of all, it was too small. Second of all, the city had came back simultaneously. The city comes back with these arrangements that we have to deal with if we want city permits. I'll spare you the drama, but they offered us 3 deals that we could not take. And we said, you know what? This is an embarrassment to the city. I screamed on all of them when they came back with these deals. We didn't go for that. But again, you're talking to your brothers and sisters. So, and then like I say, and I'm talking about in the mayor's office, okay? The councilwoman, the Bronx Borough president, these people are all hip hop. I'm not even going front. I'm not just saying they hip hop because they listen to rap music. These are people that really care about the culture and they hold government positions. They take their role in hip hop seriously, but we're all not the same in this hip hop community. We have different interests. We have other contacts. Now, true indeed, KRS-ONE is the teacher. The Temple of Hip Hop is the center for hip hop's learning arts. It's learning arts and its sciences, for the learning of its arts and sciences. The Temple of Hip Hop is the center. But that's about it. Everybody else was claiming the culture too and claiming their centers. So you have people in government now that are claiming hip hop and claiming the center and recognizing the Temple of Hip Hop as a sovereign body, as the leadership, the governing body for hip hop. They recognize it, but they still doing their own thing. And this is where the tension comes in. So we had councilwoman, and I'm not giving anybody's name in this public forum, but we have a councilwoman who's going to bat for us, who is the one who came back with the deal from the city. We said, no, we're not doing that. She ran back to try to get a different deal for the city. By the way, the time is ticking. We're coming up on our date. We still don't have a permit. We still don't have a venue. When I said this, when I said I'm not taking no deals from the city, I'm coming to you as hip hop. We want permits to do what we got to do, and this is what it is. While we were doing that, Joseph Sanchez was securing permits for Cedar Park through a different department, the Parks Department. So the Temple of Hip Hop through Joseph Sanchez was ahead of the game already. Put that to the side. Now, after I got that crazy call about take some deal, and by the way, the last part of the deal was link with some other organization, and we'll give you all the permits that you need if you link with this other organization. So the Temple of Hip Hop has to link with another organization that does the concerts for the city for us to do what we got to do. That's when I started screaming. Put that to the side. After that call, I called up BCC, Bronx Community College, and said, Bronx Community College, do we have the Sunday? Yes, we still got that Sunday for the lecture. Remember, it was August 11th was our opening of the exhibit at 1520. August 12th was the concert at Cedar Park. August 13th was the lecture discussing hip hop's 50 years at Bronx Community College, which is also on Sedgwick Avenue. We were just basically going up Sedgwick Avenue. I called BCC. Yo, are we still on? Yes, we're still on, and we can make it happen. So I said, but wait a minute. I'm having trouble getting permits. They offer me all kind of deals. We're just trying to represent hip hop. Can we do this at BCC? college, this part of the college said yes, we could do it and we would love it. We could do student enrollment. We could do all types of job fairs. We could bring health benefits. We could have a car show. We have a car mechanics place here, of course. We'd like to bring the cars out. All of it was perfect. And BCC, Bronx Community College, has a track that holds like 10 to 15,000 people. The track alone. Beautiful campus with multiple rooms and classes and buildings to do stuff in. They were opening the whole campus up to us. One of the vice presidents, a couple of the professors, they were ready for this. So I submit yet another proposal. By the way, I'm up to like 7 proposals, okay? So I submit yet another proposal for the college, for everything. They get the proposal. We start walking through the college, start naming the buildings, pointing out where we're going to be. I'm like, this is a done deal. I'm moving away from Cedar Park now. In that sense, we're going to do this at Bronx Community College all 3 days, one location. We could get it popping. Weeks go by. Now more artists are coming on. Sponsors are talking. Still don't have a venue because we got to get it approved by the higher ups of Bronx Community College, the faculty, head of security, all of that. So we took this whole thing, the vice president of the college, other professors, high-ranking faculty members, and myself, we all went to the other part of the college, which was security, the president, all of this. They completely trashed the whole idea. And I gotta laugh, I got to, because it was funny. After about 3 weeks of work, we get to this place and they said, first of all, we can't even do it. We don't have the manpower to do it. It's too many people and everything. We don't have no money. They start charging us. They started saying, you got to rent these buildings. We looked at the field. They said there's sinkholes in the field. We don't know if it's safe for the state. Everything was we can't, we don't. They ended off with, and remember Puffy and Heavy D back in the days, they did a concert in the City University of New York system. One of the colleges they did turned out to was some sort of trampling happened. Somebody pulled out a gun. Something happened. Something went down. I'm trying to think of it now, but so you can look it up. Something went down at the college at a bad boy event, and 2 people were killed. 2 people were killed at that event. So the City University of New York threw that in our face. And remember, the last time you hip hoppers did something, 2 people got killed. So we're taking this now. So we went away, all of us got back on the phone and said, wow, what was that? But what it was that we couldn't do our event at Bronx Community College, not even the Sunday. Because now we don't even know where we're at. Now we're back out in the street. Cedar Park, Sedgwick Avenue. Next week goes by, and our representative from the council's office calls and says, great news. We could get the permits. You got to put together a PowerPoint right now for the mayor's office on Tuesday. This was like a Friday. So on Tuesday, can you do it over the weekend? We said, of course. We'll be ready on Friday. We'll be ready on Tuesday. Tuesday comes. We're ready. We got our deck. We got a PowerPoint. We get on the phone. Mayor's office gets on the phone through an attorney. And the attorney starts off and offers us the same deal that I rejected. I expressed the same disgust on that meeting again. But this time I was a little smarter about it. Because the ancestor touched me on the shoulder and said, Chris, talk this through first. Because they keep pushing you to this organization, Let's Get Free, where this organization that works with the mayor's office and can get things done. So I said, look, it's not about me. I said this to myself. Well, I actually said it on the phone as well, but my sentiment was that it's not about me. It's really about hip hop. And it's really about give back to the community. This is our moment, our sacred moment to say thank you to hip hop. Thank you to the Bronx. Thank you to the neighborhood, actually, that birthed hip hop. Everybody who benefits from hip hop should actually be there at whatever space we are at to do this. So I said, you know what, let me put this to the side. And I said, while we were all on the phone, let's get this dude on the phone. Whoever this dude is, let's get him on the phone. So they called dude up. Now, mind you, the mayor's office on the phone, Bronx Borough president, we all on the phone. A couple other people as well. My team, we're all on the phone. So dude gets on the phone. His name is Matthew. Well, I'll leave his name out of this. But Matthew, we'll say that. So Matt gets on the phone. Right away, I look at him. And I say, wait a minute, this dude looks familiar to me. He starts talking. Yeah, Chris, we go back. Starts mentioning certain stuff, what the shows he does in Brooklyn, Bronx, this, that, and the other. Now, mind you, I had just, say the night before, I think it was that Monday, we did a lecture, a nighttime lecture at Bronx, at the Brooklyn Public Library at Grand Army Plaza in Brooklyn. The night before, I did a lecture there at the Brooklyn Public Library. So Matt was there, met Simone, exchanged numbers, and just went on about his business. So while he's talking, I'm like, I know this dude. And Simone said, I think I met him last night. She runs, gets his stuff, his information. It's the same dude. We start talking. Both of us realize that the city is pushing me onto him and pushing him onto me. And so he's just as reluctant to work with this rapper because they just said, we need you to work with more authentic hip hoppers. And he's saying, I am authentic hip hop. Why? I've been working for years. And they said, no, you got to work with these other people. So he's like, what is this? So I'm on the other end going, I'm authentic hip hop. I don't want to work with no other organization. What it is. Somehow we got on the phone and realized ourselves, it's all hip hop. Our culture became huge at that point. So we decided to get off the phone with the city so we could have our own cultural conversation. Got off the phone with the city. They said, well, you guys go and work it out and figure out what y'all gonna do. We're here to support you. So me and Matt get on the phone. We go through the whole thing. Brilliant, ultimate conversation, dope conversation about how we want this to go, the importance of hip hop, getting this right, the 50th anniversary, talked a little bit about, the shenanigans going on in the city and the headaches and all of that. We totally understood it. We both knew the same people, worked with the same sound companies, this, that, and the other. So right there, we realized it's best that we work together. We can make, and by the way, he has to work 5 different shows for the city, okay? He under pressure to do 5 50th anniversaries throughout the city, Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, so on. So here I come with a hip hop 50th, a hip hop 50 years block festival. It slides right in. So it slides right in. The city's now backing it, giving the permits, all the permits we need now. And me and my man, Matt, are now running the show. Literally the show. So we said, let's meet the next day. The next day we met out in Cedar Park. He came out with his measuring equipment. I came out with cameras and a different view. We looked at it again. We said no. By the time we build this stage, Cedar Park is going to be too small. We only going to be able to fit like 600 people in there. Like after everything. Not going to work, Cedar Park. So we walk out to Cedar Avenue. Cedar Avenue was a little bigger street, but again, a narrow street with an even narrower sidewalk. We have to cut the shrubbery there. We have to clean up. It's a little bit of a job, but we were willing to do it. So we looked at Cedar Avenue, and it's nice. It dips. It sort of forms a natural amphitheater in the street. And in the street, we could get a little more mileage with the crowd and the crowd control if we do it in the street, actually on the block. So we looked at it. The stage is smaller. The area is narrower. I suggested let's go up to 1520 Sedgwick and just map that out real quick. So we walked up to 1520 Sedgwick, got up to 1520 Sedgwick. And right away, we saw the Sedgwick Avenue is a bigger street. The sidewalk of Sedgwick Avenue is 3 times the size of Cedar's sidewalk. Plus, you got 1600 Park right there. And there's 1520 Sedgwick Avenue as well. 1520 Sedgwick. There it is, the birthplace of hip hop right there. So Matt and I looked at each other and said, you know what? It looks like the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival is going to happen in front of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. The streets are bigger. The sidewalk's bigger. We're in front of the birthplace of hip hop, and we can shut down the street. So now, the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival, as we speak right now, today, okay? We're having more meetings on Monday and Tuesday. But right now, it looks like the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival is going to happen on Sedgwick Avenue at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. Our vendors are going to be at the front of Sedgwick Avenue, going down toward where Cedar Park is. The vendors will be there coming up the block, as well as our sponsors' tents and so on. The sponsors include TV1 wants to come in and do a unsung, those that know the Unsung series on TV1, they want to do an unsung on 1520 Sedgwick Avenue as the birthplace of hip hop. There's that. BET wants to come through and do some filming and shooting for the BET Hip Hop Awards. You know, BET was just purchased by Tyler Perry's company, BET and VH1. So there's new management there, or now a new mind state there. And they came and said, we got to be part of this because they're doing the BET Hip Hop Awards during hip hop's 50th anniversary. They were trying to get their freestyle ciphers and who knows what else off at August 11th, 12th, 13th, also at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. There are other sponsors as well. 94.7 The Block is the radio station here in New York. They are our radio sponsor as well. And I'm just thinking out loud, but there's a bunch of other sponsors are coming on board. I just can't remember anybody's name. And if you guys remember anybody, you can just yell it out for the sake of history. But that is the sponsorship. Now, moving over, I'm just trying to give you an overview. Moving over to the performing artists, you have KRS, obviously, Chuck D, Talib Kweli, Poor Righteous Teachers, Hakeem Green, Channel Live, 24 hours a piece. You have Come on, guys, help me. MOP. You have we can't remember everybody.
Possibly Freeway, Siegel.
Freeway, possibly like Freeway, Beanie Siegel. Who's the T.I. Talking about coming through. Manny Fresh. Peter Guns. As well. So the list is getting big. And it's going to be a really historic event. What's going down? Obviously, Kid Capri, Grandmaster Flash, and others will be there as well. All of our pioneering DJs will be on set as well. The festivities technically start from 1 to 8, but we're going to be there from about 11 in the morning, getting it in. And so the day
6 a.m. in the morning.
Well, no, that's just for producers. But no, the sound may go up around 11, 12, and because I know people ain't gonna be able to take it right around noon. We're gonna have to start jamming. The place may already be packed in that sense. So, just giving you an overview of where we are right now. So right now, Boom Bap Nation. How can I forget? Boom Bap Nation. Matter of fact, Boom Bap Nation is the first actual sponsor in that sense. Please let me clean myself up here. Boom Bap Nation is the first official sponsor of the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. And so we thank them for their contribution, financial and otherwise. This festival celebrates all aspects of hip hop as well. Shout out to URL and Beasley over there. We had a conference call with them to get the battle rap scene jumping off at this festival. Shout out to my son, Mason. We was with him the other day with Ja Rule. Shout out to Ja Rule and Fat Joe and everybody who was at Sony Hall the other day. We did Sony Hall. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna take a break right now. And come back because you just made me remember about Sony Hall. And we do have a recap that we actually did of Sony Hall. Of the show I just did, as a matter of fact. Let me take a break, get something to drink, and I'm gonna come back with our lesson in that sense. You have the update. 1520 Sedgwick Avenue is the new location for the Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival. I'll come back and explain what we're doing at the Temple of Hip Hop during August 11th, 12th, and 13th in Newark, New Jersey. But let's take a break. Check this out real quick. Hey, I'ma do it all day, taking you to school. Shout out to my man, Ja Rule. This is how we get down all day, all night. KRS-ONE ripping the mic. Yo! I'm all smooth. How you smooth out MCs act like they don't know? That shit is the hardest shit. Here we are at Sony Hall. I'm doing this with Ja Rule. Whole place is packed. It's a special show with a band. We've been practicing from yesterday to now. So I'm just gonna get up there and jam. I'm doing my thing. I'm driving my car across the street with 100 guns and about 60. I get to the block, I see two cops. They're looking at me funny like this is my time. I can't continue around, cause the fools on the line before my time. I'm on the camera, I gotta keep up. I don't wanna run about the fuck. But I got to is criminal vanity. The show's in the back when I find me. So I'ma let us know how we see. KRS-ONE, BDP!
I'm on fire! Let's go back! Bring it down to everywhere possible. What you doing is not good. Don't do that. Preferably the low, slow slide at the speed of sound. Trying to niggas and niggas just running around. I might get some Brooklyn niggas to run it down. With the thing with the they ride. And when I bring out, leave them laid out dead. 64 up here in New York. Nigga, I can see the company, you know this ain't a movie. He got his head covered. Rather follow the knowledge and everything's so crazy. Hey, can't spit, we done this investigate. Hey, straight shit, not me, I'm the truth, homie. I'm the industry shoot, like now niggas joke on them. True story, you're bringing this scene back. Even Roy Jones is off the lean back. Straight shit, crap, cook. Now we killing them all, niggas say I must have found punch round book. Got one of those out of the bin. Ain't no pinky got played like a ring around salad. Cook your crap, niggas scream for that. Like I sat in the audience, like it's tough, man, right? So I was like, yo, I need my mic. I gotta hype this shit up. But this was like your moment, even though you got a billion moments. But this was like, you know what I'm saying? We had to salute you. Your first time with a band.
First time.
You just killed that shit and came up to the room. What kind of shit is that, right?
So that was the other night. That's what went down. Crazy night. All type of people were there. The mayor actually came to that show too and snuck out. I guess he might have thought I was going to hit him up for those permits. But it was a wonderful night. And I mentioned that we're back as well. And like I said, when we came back, real quick, we're going to discuss the Temple of Hip Hop, and then I'm going to get to our read. So simultaneously, while we're planning our August 12th, 2023 Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. With that going on, we are also in Newark, New Jersey. Our temple would have been up and running for about a month, really, by the time August 11th, 12th, and 13th comes around. And so in Newark, New Jersey, we have a full schedule there as well for the Temple of Hip Hop. Now, I'm going to be navigating between Newark, New Jersey, and the Bronx. I really only have two appearances that I have to make in the Bronx in relation to our events. Most of what I'm doing is in Newark, New Jersey. So because we was looking to plan a 3-day event and we can't do a 3-day event in the Bronx right now, we're doing a 1-day, August 12th, 2023 event, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. That's where we at on August 12th. But August 11th, while everybody else is at Yankee Stadium, whoever can afford those tickets, if you at Yankee Stadium, okay, that's what that is, August 11th, Professor Sanchez has Cedar Park still. He still has his Cedar Park permits for August 11th and 12th. So August 11th, we may still be planning something in Cedar Park in the Bronx. And if we are, I'll show up to that. In addition to that, but remember, this is a smaller permit, a smaller situation. we'll see. It's still August 11th. Who knows what may jump off at Cedar Park on August 11th? Who knows, really, you think about it. That could get stupid in and of itself. Well, I was getting to that. That on August 11th, actually, there's two visuals. Someone was referring to two visuals. One is August 10th at about 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We're going to be at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue with bringing in August 11th in prayer and affirmation. So we'll be praying, we'll be affirming, we'll be visualizing. At 1520 Sedgwick Avenue at 11 o'clock, we're bringing in that 12 a.m. hour. When that 12 a.m. comes, we will pray our sacred day into existence. We'll hang out for about till 1 o'clock. I'll go to my apartment there, sleep over, wake up, and the 12th is when the party starts. Like someone had mentioned, 6 a.m. in the morning. And this is all Bronx. For some reason, I'm back to the Bronx here. But 6 a.m. in the morning, that's when production starts. But everybody else will start coming around 11, 12. Showtime's really like 12, 1 o'clock, like that. So we'll be up. You know, we're not going to go back out to Jersey. We're probably going to stay in the Bronx from that 11 o'clock at night vigil, which brings in August 11th.
Now you blend in the days, right?
Huh?
You blend in the days. August 10th into the morning, and August 11th. Then the next day is the 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes. Then right. Yes. I'm blending the days. Yes, thank you for that. Well, you guys have a calendar. You know what it is. But yes, let me correct myself. August 11th. In fact, August 11th is the opening of 1520 Sedgwick as a sacred space. I should spend some time on that too, but let me just let that go by. We're opening 1520 as a sacred space. No, I gotta give it to you. So 1520, you heard me say that we're putting an exhibit into 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. And we've been collecting art, like the art you see behind me, to tell a story about hip hop's 50 years as an art exhibit at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. However, as we began to do that work, we realized two things, and they both went together. Actually, three things. One, when we were doing our master classes, we noticed that there were rats in the building. And this is the Bronx, you know, people deal with rats and roaches. But 1520 got to deal with its rats and its roaches. We were having master classes with rats running across the top of the ceiling. Now, it was dope for the class. It was actually pretty dope. You in the hood, go ahead and feel that. But for a global exhibit with people coming from all over the world, we got to get rid of these rats, okay? So 1520, you know, is the hood. And so we got to deal with the rats. So we're dealing with it, okay? We're dealing with it. We got exterminators coming. They got to plug up the holes. We done talk to the building management, the owner, everybody. They're dealing with that. But this is number one. We got to deal with the renovation of the building before you could put an exhibit in there. Number two, the tenants were complaining about security, how people just roll up to the building, taking pictures, walking through the building, banging on stuff, no security, no policing of the area. And 1520 is a global building. Everybody knows people fly in to take pictures in front of it. So the tenants were concerned about putting an exhibit in here with no security. How was we supposed to do that? Last thing had to do with the scaffolding outside. We thought was going to be gone by July. It's not. It's going to stay up probably into the winter. So now the idea of an exhibit leaves from the inside and comes to the outside. I'll get back to that. The reason it's going to the outside is because with all of these other concerns, I then began to look at this and I said, wait a minute. There's one more piece that we're not looking at. And that piece is the 1520 Community Center has been closed for almost 15 years. Easy 10, but maybe 15 years it's been closed. The tenants can't use it. Nobody's used it. We have the keys to 1520 Community Center, so we use it to give master classes and every other thing. But the tenants don't have the keys, and they like to use their own community center. We may look at it as Cool Herc started hip hop here, but it's still a community center for the tenants living in the building. So I looked at that and I said, you know what? Before we put an exhibit into 1520, let's first clean up the community center as it is for two reasons. One, so the tenants could use it. And two, because the way it is, no one has seen it the way it is. Okay, the way it is, no one has seen it. So before we change it, shouldn't we allow people to see the birthplace of hip hop as it was originally? Sure, we could put certain things on the wall, we could change some of the lighting, we can make it look a little more presentable, but you really want the original room to stay intact, at least to the end of the year. Give everybody a chance to see the original room, to feel that vibe before we go in, because what we want to do is lift up the floor. We're going to put a new floor down, paint the place black. We got track lighting going up, this kind of thing. We're going to turn it into an exhibit, an exhibit hall, and then turn it into an exhibit. But it changes the community center altogether. So I said that. So that's the piece with 1520. So what we did was we said, let's leave 1520 the way it is. If anything, we'll change the mural that's there. We either upgrade it or change it completely. There's a mural there that says hip hop. It has Cool Herc there, so on. We can upgrade that, put a more updated mural there. But that's about it. That's about it. Now you, I just want to touch that real quick. Okay. Now you, last piece. Now you come outside, and now I'm looking at the scaffolding, and I'm saying, let's put an exhibit on the scaffolding that's outside the building. So when you walk past 1520, which is all scaffold, it's like you walking through a tunnel, and there I could put up banners on the scaffolding. We already got approved for this. Put the banners up that exemplifies 50 years of hip hop. That we were going to do anyway, before we realized that we were now going to bring the whole Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival to the front door of 1520. So now you got the festival, and now you got the exhibit. It's all converging onto 1520. So out in Newark, New Jersey, August 11th, now mind you, you can see my back and forth. August 11th in the Bronx, August 10th in the Bronx, we have our vigil. August 11th, the community space opens up as a community space. I may do one or two of the lectures there, but mostly the hip hop cultural specialists that trained with us will be the ones walking everybody through 1520 Sedgwick Avenue on that day, August 11th. In addition, August 11th, I'm out in Newark, New Jersey, and we're having yet another discussion, concert. We haven't set it up yet. This is what I was talking to the committee about yesterday. But we have the ability to do an outdoor barbecue. We have our own facility, so the gym is open, workshops are open, we can have concerts, we could do our thing there. The only one that I have scheduled for our 3-day event so far is the attorney Ben Crump, who's going to talk with us at the Temple of Hip Hop, talk about hip hop and justice. Talk to Ben Crump on the Sunday at the Temple of Hip Hop. He's going to come through and talk about just hip hop and justice is what I'd like him to discuss, motivate us towards seeking justice. Also, George Floyd would have been 50 in 2023 as well. I'm talking to his brother, Terrence Floyd, as well. They have a separate organization called We Did Not Forget. And the Temple of Hip Hop is in solidarity with that organization. They got some things going on there as well that reminds people, that these shootings of unarmed Black people, or just unarmed people in general, these shootings should not be forgotten. They're not just sound bites that come on CNN and then go away. These are real families and real tragedies that people live with for their whole lives. And the idea is to prevent others from having to go through the same thing. That's why the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act not being passed is a travesty of justice. We like Attorney Benjamin Crump to come to the Temple of Hip Hop and talk to us about that as well. That's happening on the 13th at the Temple of Hip Hop. And there'll be other speakers as well, but he's the first one that I've confirmed. Now you got the 11th at the Temple. We need to get our deal going there. And we have the 12th, which is lighter at the Temple, but nonetheless, something's going on for Newark, New Jersey there as well. We most likely will be in the Bronx most of the day on the 12th, but toward the 12th, toward the evening, I'm going to leave the Bronx. After I do my performance, I'm going to leave the Bronx, come out to Newark, probably do a second performance or host a lecture or some other symposium there at the Temple of Hip Hop. Then I'll stay in Newark, and the next day we're at the Temple all day Sunday discussing the 50 years of hip hop in all of our elements: breaking, MCing, graffiti writing, DJing, beatboxing, fashion, language, knowledge, all of it, management, trade, all of that. We're going to discuss 50 years over the 9 elements. That's the Sunday. So that is your update in terms of what's going on August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Moving on, make sure I got everything. Yes, I did. We need volunteers. We need volunteers. We're going to ask, we're asking the Temple of Hip Hop, those who are going to come in. We're getting organized now. We need about 50 volunteers to do things like hospitality, light security. NYPD is going to be out there for security, at least in the Bronx. Same thing with Newark Police. They'll be outside there as well in Newark. But inside, we need our own security. We need our own hospitality. We need our own hip-hop cultural specialists to walk people through the exhibit that's at the Temple of Hip Hop. So you can see we're going to be split over 2 areas. We're going to be split over the Bronx and Newark, New Jersey. So 50 people ain't even enough. But I'm just calling on a quick 50 right now. And if you can volunteer, email us at tohhvolunteer@gmail.com. You'll see it right there, actually, on the bottom of your screen. We're asking for volunteers. Come on through, and we're organizing in that way as well. We're organizing our volunteers to come through, and we have weekly conference calls for that volunteer group as well. We do need the support. The Temple of Hip Hop is doing this, and we have to rise. It's only us doing this, too, by the way. We thank our sponsors. We thank our supporters, but we have to thank ourselves. We have to get up ourselves and make sure this thing goes down right. We are the last line of defense, or should I say the front lines of defense in terms of the corporate exploitation of hip hop. Imagine if we were not doing this event. Imagine if this event did not happen. There's no other hip hop organization on the planet that's doing anything like this. Yankee Stadium would have been the only thing going on. Imagine that. For hip hop's actual anniversary on its actual August 11th day, you got to spend $2,500, $1,000, $700, $400, $200 to get in to celebrate your own anniversary. And if you don't have a ticket or can't afford it, the anniversary just goes by you. And you celebrate it yourself in your house, but there's no communal, no cultural, no national celebration of our birth in this world. And so the Temple of Hip Hop steps forward, and the teachers of hip hop step forward. And we say, let us create an environment where our culture can be represented in its sacred sense. Let's put the commercialism, the capitalism, the materialism aside and just deal with the essence of the culture. We got to do it for free so that our community can come around. We have to give of ourselves because our community has already given so much to us. This is our thank you. This is our give back. I used to live on the block that we're doing this on, so you know I'm in spiritual bliss right now. I saw a vision 50 years ago, and now I'm walking into my vision with a block festival. You can't comprehend what's going in my mind right now. I don't want to put my baby pictures up here right now. There's me and Kenny standing in front of 1600 at 8 and 7 years old, being guided by this divine intelligence, by the love that has carried hip hop so far. And here we are, coming now into our Jerusalem, coming into our Jerusalem now. We're coming into our Jerusalem, the peace of Heru. We're coming into that now with August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Full circle for us, full circle. We're coming back shining. But to do that, you have to take care of yourself. And that is the lesson that we are going to talk about today. Go ahead and grab your gospel of hip hop right now and turn your gospel to page 193. Page 193 of the Gospel of Hip Hop. Turn your gospel to page 193 of the Gospel of Hip Hop. Now, I'm starting you here because this lesson is all about, the quick answer is take care of yourself. Be a friend to your future self. Take care of yourself. This is the lesson of selfishness. The difference between selfishness and selfishness. This is a divine performance. We need to hear this lesson right now. Too often, we're running around doing all kinds of things and not paying attention to our health, to our state of mental health, our mind, our sense of peace, contentment. You got to focus on these things if you want them to happen. You don't work in lieu of peace. Like, I'm working to get to my peace. Nah, peace doesn't work like that. You have to have peace first. And in peace, you enter your work. If at any time your work starts to interfere with your peace, it's not your work anymore. It becomes a job. You jobbing now. You're not working. Work is attached to your purpose. Job is justifying our being. You just do what you got to do to work. I mean, do what you got to do to pay bills. I can't even say work. So turn your gospel to page 193, and let's talk about taking care of yourself. These are all divine performances. Make these performances your daily habits. Now, mind you, this is part of the divine performance. This is the end of all 18 performances. The last one was perform hip hop. Right after that one, it says all 18. These are all divine performances. Make these performances your daily habits. This is the teaching right here. This is it. The practice of hip hop spirituality is to make the divine performance or performances your regular habit in life. This is your knee-jerk reaction to the circumstances and situations of life. Make these performances your daily habits. Learn them while you are young and teach them to your children. This collective character is the personality of the attuned hip hopper. Just so you know, this is what the attuned hip hopper is all about. If you ever want to know what the attitude is, the attuned hip hopper is walking with the divine performance. The character and personality prescribed in the divine performance offers the true hip hop activist an empowering code of conduct capable of achieving lasting peace and uninterrupted prosperity. More importantly, the character presented in the divine performance opens up the realm of the inner city, the kingdom of heaven, the realm of supernatural events and miracles. Although each performance can be used as an individual teaching or meditation, it is all 18 performances that make up the total character of the spiritually attuned hip hopper. All 18, not just one. Templates who are studied in the divine performance can teach this understanding to others. Such a character draws the favor of God. Once we realize how awareness, blessings, and worldly resources come through us and not to us, we are encouraged to give, to help, to love, and to listen. As we look to God for guidance and strength, others look to us. We are the blessing, the answered prayer, the needed assistance in the lives of those that surround us. See, all of this is the attitude. All of this is the character of an enlightened hip hopper. We are the blessing, the answered prayer, the needed assistance in the lives of those that surround us. And this life is not an easy one to achieve or even maintain at the beginning. At the beginning of such a path, your friends will desert you. Your family will disrespect you. Your place of employment will terminate you, and your school will fail you. You may even wind up houseless. As your new awareness begins to become your new reality, others who do not possess your new awareness will cease to understand you. But hold on. Now, why do I mention that there? Because some people think that spirituality is just a happy time the whole time. People think that when you embark upon a spiritual or philosophical path, when you seek to expand your consciousness and learn new things and experience new things, people think that's a happy, they watch the TV and they looking for the glowing light to come from your head. When you actually walk the path of God and righteousness, you see how quick members of your own family disown you. Mothers and fathers disown you. Sons and daughters disown you. Brothers and sisters don't know you. You see how quick those who said they were your friends suddenly don't understand you. Your place of employment no longer makes any sense. Then you get fired. Or you muster up the energy to quit. These are the things that happen. And this is why people are not spiritually enlightened, because they want God to live with their demons. They want high consciousness remaining ignorant. They want to see while being blind. They want to talk with their mouth shut. It's that consciousness that prevents people from achieving the level of mind, the level of being, I really should say, the level of being, even beyond mind, the level of being that is truly divine, that you really are. But this is why nobody wants to do it, because nobody wants their family yelling at them and crazy. Nobody wants to be fired from their job. No one wants to get kicked out of school. No one wants all these things. The spiritual path finds these things trivial, to be honest. Look at that. Family, school, job, how much money you got, all the worldly stuff and all the titles you put on yourself. When you really start going inside and questioning every aspect of your being, you find that a lot of the stuff you doing is useless. A lot of the things you do, and I say that respectfully, but a lot of what people do is like 10 years from now, you're going to be like, why did I do that? 5 years from now, you're going to say, I wasted my time. I should have did this. Let's read on, because that's what this is speaking to. Getting your mind right now so you don't have to say that in the future. But hold on. Your closest associates, family included, will show their true natures. Those who didn't like you in the past will like you now, and those who like you now will not like you in the future. However, you must stay focused upon the creation of the new you. This is a time where you must place your interests above everyone else's interests, wants, needs, desires, and fears. This is the selfish piece. This is an act of selfishness. Not selfishness, but selfishness. To be selfish simply means to tend to the critical needs of one's self above the temporal needs of others. Let me say it again. To be selfish simply means to tend to the critical needs of oneself above the temporal needs of others, temporary needs of others. It is when one takes oneself seriously and stands up for oneself. And remember, this is not selfishness, where you think, care, and are concerned only with your own interests, regardless of who you hurt in the process. Not at all. That's not what we're talking about. Selfishness still includes a care for others as you care for yourself. However, the difference between being selfish and being selfish has to do with whether you are using people for your own goals and achievements, or whether you are using yourself for your own goals and achievements. The selfish uses himself to achieve his goals, whereas the selfish uses others to achieve his goals. The selfish gets to the point where he simply must gather up all that is generated by his name and work, so that he may properly organize his life. The selfish simply needs time to himself, whereas the selfish gets to a point where he must deprive others of his resources in an attempt to have more. The selfish still empathizes and cares for others, but has simply reached a point where he must now care for himself. The selfish cares only for himself. For it is usually the selfishness of others that causes the selfish to withdraw into seclusion. You will learn that those who care little for your spiritual growth have not the capacity to truly care for you. Therefore, cling only to God. Give your heart to God only. Can you do that? Give your heart to God only. Express your deepest thoughts and emotions to God only. Others will only continue to hold you to their own needs and wants. In fact, many spiritual teachers have failed to reach the full potential, their full potential, because they've spent too much time debating, arguing, and trying to convince others of God's love without taking some time to experience such love for themselves. It is known by the wise that no personal time or thought should be given to those who do not respect the truth. They'll get it one day. Many spiritual teachers have painfully learned that when they have given up their spiritual lives for the comfort of others who care not for the things of the Spirit, they, the teachers, end up with nothing. They do not gain the Spirit, nor the friendship or resources they forfeited their spiritual path for. In the end, the spiritual teacher that has given up the pursuit of perfection for family and friends finds that such family and friends never really cared for the teacher to begin with. They were only looking to secure their own needs and insecurities at the time. In the end, when you are left unfulfilled and ultimately unhappy in your older years, you will find your own family and friends apologizing to you, saying that you should have stayed on your path and not have listened to them because they were only thinking of themselves at the time. In the present moment, while the argument, debate, and questioning is going on, everyone seems right. Everyone is a master spiritual teacher, expounding upon their wisdoms and truths when they are arguing for their interests. However, in the end, it is you who suffers for not having the courage to follow your own heart and vision. Be strong. The questions for you are, how serious are you about God? How serious are you about the development of your spiritual character? Many millions of people are familiar with the world's spiritual teachings, but fail to actually practice them when the path of life turns turbulent. Many people desire to live in paradise, in peace, love, unity, and joy. But in actuality, they really don't believe such states are possible for them. For them, these states of awareness are only words. And this is what makes life difficult for them. This is the truth. This is a powerful, powerful warning, prescription, something you could look at in the future and prevent yourself from becoming or experiencing. They say these people who are between the world and God, they say, I believe in God until they experience the death of a loved one. They thank God for their good fortune, but then forget about God when they cannot seem to achieve what they want for themselves. They read spiritual texts of all sorts, only to pick out the parts that they are comfortable living with. All of this makes life hard for them. And if you continue to align yourself with such people, you will not experience all that the true and living God has for you. Now stop here for a minute. Stop here. I mentioned this passage here because too many times spiritual people with love and compassion in their heart give up their own life for others who don't care about the spiritual life. And this is a warning that I'm sending to somebody right now, talking to somebody right now. Don't give so much of your time to those who have already shown you that they don't respect this. They don't respect spirit, God, hip hop, all that temple of hip hop. They don't respect it. So if they don't respect it, it's not that you shouldn't teach them, but you should make sure that you are not being deprived of your privileges. Because the more you deal with people who don't respect your spiritual path, the more you're being taken out of your spiritual path. And you compromise to be with them. You turn your voice down to be with them. You wear the clothes they want to wear. You eat the food they want to eat. And after a while, you find yourself completely compromised. Now you're gone now, and you don't know why and how and who and why. And then how does it start? Because you didn't stand on your principles. You allowed others to compromise your principles because of the compassion in your own heart. You felt like, I'm not, look, I don't have to, stay with my gospel of hip hop. I can put that aside to deal with you and you know, but after a while, you find that your gospel is gone. You keep putting it aside, After a while, the character, you can't get back to it. You look at a picture from 2 years ago and you say, man, in that picture, I was happy and moving and look at me. 2 years later, you're wishing for 2 years ago. That right there, as a conscious being, as an attuned hip hopper, you're making the right moves now. So you ain't got to go through none of that in the future. Be a friend to your future self by giving yourself good memories, by giving yourself vacations, by giving yourself pleasures, by giving yourself what you need to be happy. Oftentimes, spiritual people deprive themselves happiness, pleasures, going places, this, that, because they say, oh, it's materialism, it's the way of the world, it's the flesh, oh, it's this. Well, you might be right. Don't get too caught up in the flesh. Don't get too caught up in materialism. But when do you drive that Mercedes Benz? Now, we could talk about, you know, the Mercedes ain't nothing. You don't need no Benz. You don't need the Bentley. You don't need it. Until Fat Joe pulls. He pulls up in some crazy. And it's like, no, that's not your lifestyle. That's not what it is. But when do you get in the Bentley? Okay, you know, I don't wear diamonds and jewelry and stuff like that. But when do you get to put on the ice and do that? See, it's one thing to say, oh, we're against materialism and we don't need the money and yeah. It's good to say that from a spiritual point of view. If you can live with the minimum, you found peace, no question about it. But every once in a while, when do you get on that yacht and cruise around frivolously while you drink wine? When does that happen for you, though? You know, it's not all supposed to be poverty. Okay, it's not supposed to. Spirituality is not about poverty. Health, love, awareness, well, which is really health and your well-being. But wealth includes money. At least in this society, wealth includes money. So we're not here saying, yo, we want to be millionaires, billionaires. But where is your money, though? You know, you ain't got to be a billionaire, though. But are you struggling every day to pay bills? Are you don't have enough? Do you? No, the spiritual life doesn't afford that either. The spiritual life has you having everything you need when you need it, straight up. And in fact, the spiritual life takes away wants and needs and offers contentment, peace. I'm good where I am. Hip hop is enough for me. God is enough for me. I don't need anything more than God. Anything beyond God, I think, is evil. I don't need more than that. Think about that too. You know, God, the omnipresent, the omnipotent, the all. Okay, what more do you need beyond the all? Like you got it all. Like you say, I got it all, but I still want more. That is the fate of a lot of people. If you have God, you have it all. This is what our ancestors realized. If you have God, you have it all. So you don't need nothing. Thus the Enlightenment. You live a life of expectancy. You're walking with a higher intelligence. You've tuned in to something higher, something deeper, something faster, something more foundational. Nature itself, really. The intelligence of nature. You've tuned into it. You've tapped into it. Now you conduct your life on a I can't even say higher. It's just in a different dimension that seems to give you what you need. Turn your gospel real quick to the health section on page 207. Page 207. Turn your gospel to page 207. We're reading health. Turn your gospel to page 207. In fact, it's 206. I'll start on 206. Paragraph 5. Paragraph 5, 206. This is about taking care of yourself. It's about health. This is about what I just spoke about. Health is one of the only true forms of material wealth a hip-hopper has. We just said that. Therefore, throughout our lifetime, we must seek to spend our wealth, wisely. Health is also about overcoming sickness. Not that you will never be sick, but how fast do you overcome and or recover from sickness? Even prevent sickness. All of this points to good health. However, we must not wait until we are sick to try to be healthy. Instead, when we are healthy, we should try to be even healthier. Now, this is the part here, okay? Isn't it funny how when we are sick and we wish to recover, we eat all the right things and get plenty of rest? Then, when we fully recover because of the healthy foods, drugs, and rest we have taken, we go right back to the very foods, drugs, and nonstop activities that got us sick in the first place. We must reverse this. Be wise about your health. Prevention is the key. Don't use the hospital to patch yourself up after you become sick. Use the hospital and the expertise it provides to prevent sickness and physical harm to yourself. Before you become a diabetic, you should eat as if you are recovering from diabetes. Before you are diagnosed with cancer, you should eat, think, and live as if you are trying to overcome cancer right now. If you know that certain foods, drugs, and even rest periods are responsible for the recovery of your health when you are sick, then why not make these certain foods, drugs, and rest periods a regular habit in your daily life before you get sick? Why not eat healthy now and rest as often as you can so that you may dramatically decrease your chances of being sick at all? This is what it means to be conscious or aware. You know, I could stop right there, but I need to read this next piece. I need to read this next paragraph, next two paragraphs. Isn't it funny, even ironic, how you can never find time to rest and care for yourself until you get sick? That's the point I want to keep hammering in. As long as you can move around, you will. You will work, and even work some more with no time toward the upkeep of yourself until you get seriously ill. You can never find time to rest or read or commune with God or listen to soothing, relaxing, healing music until you are confined to a bed, sick and in pain. We must reverse this. Why must your God slap you down in sickness for you to focus upon your own well-being today? Is this not immature on your part? Shouldn't you be voluntarily seeking and planning your own well-being through moments of rest, right thinking, right eating, and exercise? Or is this the true purpose for sickness? To get you to focus upon these things, upon those things that truly matter. Right. Upon those things that truly matter. Isn't it equally ironic how friends, family, and even employers will deny you time to yourself? Friends, family, and employers will deny you time to yourself unless you are sick and in pain. It seems that only when you are sick can your so-called friends and family, as well as your bosses, treat you the way that you were supposed to, treat you in the way that they are supposed to in order to maintain your good health. When you were up and about, healthy and working, it was actually them and their situations that made you sick. When you are sick and in pain, it seems to be at that time that you focus upon all that you should have done to remain healthy. All of your goals and dreams seem very important when you are sick. Nothing going on in the world seems to be of much importance when you are sick and focused upon your recovery. Grow up, hip hopper. Prevention is the key to good health. Now that will conclude our reading. So I end off with that, and I say that, listen, you got to take care of yourself. There's nobody else that's going to. Don't wait for somebody else to come and take care of you. It never happens. And if you have somebody that's actually taking care of you, that's a privilege. But in all honesty, in all truth, even if you have someone taking care of you, you still have to take care of yourself. Ultimately, if I eat, you don't get full. If I go to sleep, you don't get rest. You have to do for yourself. And this is what hip hop teaches. Doing for yourself, being independent, being sovereign, being self-governed. These things sound like big words that apply to nations, but they actually start with you. Nations are only a bunch of families, and families are just a bunch of individuals. I mean, think about that. What is a nation? States. What are states? Cities. What are cities? Towns and counties. What are towns and counties? Neighborhoods. What are neighborhoods? A bunch of families living together. What are a bunch of families living together? A bunch of strangers. So if you can comprehend, what it means for you to take care of yourself in the whole, this is the beginning of civilization. This is the beginning of real civilization right here. So I thank you for listening this week. This is the Temple of Hip Hop. The Temple of Hip Hop is a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. Based on the teachings of our gospel, we now are at 55 Ludlow Street, Newark, New Jersey. We're planning a Hip Hop 50 Years Block Festival, which will go down in both the Bronx on August 12th, 2023, and in Newark, New Jersey, August 11th, 12th, and 13th at the Temple of Hip Hop. I hope to see all of you there. I want to put up again one more time the volunteer email for those that may have just got in on the end. Those that want to volunteer to help us put this event on, please, we could use your help. Respond at the email at the bottom. I am KRS-ONE. That concludes our lesson for today. What I'm going to do now is take you over to G. Simone. G. Simone has rocked it again. Her album comes out June 28th, this week coming, June 28th. It's called Such a Feeling. And we prepared an album sampler for those who just get into Simone's soothing music, meditative music, music that lifts you up. Listen to the lyrics, too. Powerful lyrics, teaching lyrics. This is a form of edutainment as well. I'm going to take you out with this. It's about 10 minutes. We play about 3 songs as well off the new album. You should check that out. You've seen the other 2 videos as well, Hallelujah and Mama. Wonderful reaction to that as well. We're going to hit you with 3 more songs right now. This is G. Simone, Such a Feeling, the new album dropping June 28th. Make sure you're streaming it and tell all your friends. Spread the word. This is the light right now. I'm out. Peace. KRS-ONE.
Welcome to the G. Simone album project, Such a Feel In. And the album is all about how you're feeling inside and how we all experience life trauma and life glory. And it just takes you through the full story of your life, my life, our lives. And I hope you feel it inside and can express it outside and enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening. Peace. can't see you, but I know you. I can feel you. I believe you, but can't touch you. When I find you, I will hold you. When I find you, away we go, away we go, away we go, away we go, away we go. Life is what we live each day. and be loved. Such a feeling, such a feeling to love and be loved. Such a feeling, such a feeling. Tell me how it makes you feel when you close your eyes. It makes you smile, it makes you still feeling so alive. What is love? Peace, laughter, fun. To love and be loved. Such a feeling, such a feeling to love and be loved. Such a feeling, such a feeling. Such a feeling, such a feeling. Love you every day. Love, love, love. I love you every day. Love. Love, love, love you every day. Love. To love